What's up, YouTube? My name is Eric. If you're new to my channel, it's all about mental health, mental illness, suicide awareness, just making sure that nobody goes it alone in life. And I share from personal experiences, resources, and things that I've experienced in life. I lost a wife and a father to suicide. I've been diagnosed ADHD, PTSD, GAD, and MDD. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor, none of that. I just like to share from my experience, hoping that it helps somebody out there maybe understand or be comfortable with what they're going through. I am a recovering addict of alcohol and cocaine, and I wanted to share the difference between ADD and ADHD. There's always a lot of confusion. I get told a lot of times that, hey, I've been diagnosed ADD and ADHD. You can't. You're either one or the other. You're either ADD or you are ADHD. And a lot of times we don't know what the differences are. There's a lot of stigma even that goes along with being ADD and ADHD of this huge energy factor. You're bouncing all around on the playground. That isn't what either of them are. It has to do with how our brain is and how our brain is wired and how it works, because it is more being trapped with your thoughts and being unable to focus on a certain thought and having multiple thoughts going through your head. I always explain it kind of like the fireworks. It's like watching fireworks, because boom, 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 boom. You're never really able to focus on one. So what are the differences? Well, here they are. ADD, you have trouble paying attention. I was originally diagnosed ADD at age 14. Later on, right around 19, 20, I was re-diagnosed as ADHD. So ADD, you do have trouble paying attention. ADD, you avoid doing long tasks. That's why homework and stuff is very, very hard for somebody that's ADD. Trying to sit down and actually do a book report is a challenge. We need help with it. I needed help with it in school, but at least being ADD and my parents knowing I was, they got me the help that I needed. You have trouble focusing. You have just trouble focusing on a thought because there is like a fireworks display of thoughts going on in your head. You also are disorganized. I was disorganized for a very long time. One of my coping for my ADHD is actually a to-do list, because the more organized I am, it actually brings me comfort, because I know that it is one of my weaknesses. So having organization actually helps a lot if you're ADD or ADHD, but you do need help with it to at least get in that routine of how to be organized, because for the longest time I was extremely unorganized. I couldn't find anything. You don't appear to listen with ADD. You are listening, but you're like stuck in your thoughts that people don't understand that you're listening to them, and you may say what a lot. Because you aren't fully paying attention, because your thoughts will drift and you almost get bored with conversations. If the conversation isn't engaging, you're going to almost zone out of it, but you're going through your thoughts. So it's not intentional, but it does appear that we're not listening, even though we may be listening still. We're just doing other things in our head at the same time. You lose things. I used to lose a lot of things. That's why I have spots all over my house, even for where my keys go, where my wallet goes. I mean, it's the set spot for it, because it is very easy to lose things when you're ADD. You do make careless mistakes when you're ADD. That's another effect from it, because we're not fully focused in sometimes, that we will do some of the most thoughtless, careless mistakes there are. Whether it's spelling a word wrong that we already know how to spell correctly, to just going, hey dude, what were you thinking? Why did you do that? Well, we were stuck in our thoughts as we're doing something else, and it turned into a careless mistake. And I know these because I found these on WebMD. If you look it up, WebMD does break down the difference between ADD and ADHD. And you also have trouble following instructions. No matter how detailed the instructions are, it's usually a list of instructions, so we get bored with it. It's hard for us to follow through when we're ADD. It almost seems like we're shy when we're ADD. We're not extremely super outgoing because we are so trapped in our thoughts. When I was younger, my parents never knew or thought I would be ADD, because I wasn't super energetic, bouncing around on the playground, and that's what ADD kids were supposed to be. Well, that wasn't me. And so that's one of the common misconceptions that you get. If you stay away and you almost avoid people because you are stuck in your thoughts versus everything else that's going on around you. So those are the common signs of being ADD. Now, the difference of being ADHD. Now, I got re-diagnosed later on, and the diagnosis can change to ADHD, the hyperactivity and the attention deficit disorder. And that's what the H stands for. So you can't have both. You're not going to be ADD and ADHD. You're going to be one or the other. ADHD, we will blurt shit out left and right. And I'm very guilty of that. Like, I will be in the middle of a conversation and a thought comes to mind and blurt, there it is. And it does get me in trouble sometimes, because sometimes I act without even thinking, because I'm blurting out an answer of what I think is the answer. Now, it also causes us to interrupt others. We can be in a conversation and just interrupt you and go on a fucking tangent, because that's where our thought process just went. It's difficult to control, and it comes off sometimes extremely rude if you don't know somebody's ADHD, and that this is actually how we are. It's not that we're intentionally trying to do it. It's how we are. This is how I am. This is what I struggle with. This is one of my mental illnesses. This is why I take Adderall, because it actually helps me tremendously. We have trouble waiting, just to wait. It's like, go, 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 go. Let's go. Let's just do this. And that's the hyperactivity part. It's that spontaneous part. It's the doing something without even thinking it through. And I've been guilty of that. I've done a lot of different things out there where, like, looking back, I'm like, shit, I shouldn't have done that. And I can't necessarily blame it on my mental illness, but I do have ADHD. And that's part of being ADHD, is that we will do something without thinking through in detail the consequences. There's not that logical side to us. We talk too much. I talk tremendously, and I have to watch myself. It's one of those that a conversation for me, I work on it to be two ways. Otherwise, I'm talking at somebody because I'm just talking. That's how ADHD is. And you can already see the differences between ADD and ADHD. I mean, ADD was none of this blurting out in your face, blah, 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 blah. It's more trapped solidly in your thoughts, where ADHD is trapped in your thoughts, but it's vocal, it's physical. Fidgeting is part of it. That's why they have wiggle seats. I fidget a lot. If you never knew, in my YouTube videos, I'm usually doing this with my hands as part of my fidgeting. That's why I use fidget spinners. That's why I use fidget cubes, because I fidget tremendously. And it's a challenge. The fidgeting can be a challenge, especially if we have to sit still for a while. And so finding coping tools, I suggest fidget spinners, fidget cubes, something in your hand. If it gets inappropriate, we get very uncomfortable. If something inappropriate happens, we almost don't know how to react. And we react spontaneously. Our brain doesn't logically comprehend it, and we become very spontaneous. So inappropriate situations do throw us off tremendously. Because we know they're inappropriate, we just don't know what to respond or how to respond, and now we spontaneously respond, and we usually come out looking like an asshole. That's part of ADHD. The inability to play quiet. I mean, when I was later on in life, I mean, I made a racket playing. I almost wanted attention playing. You're not quiet at all when you're playing. And you know what? You always are on the go. It's always go, go, go mode with ADHD. There is no slow down mode. It's go, go, go mode. That's one of the biggest struggles with ADHD, because it is that hyperactivity of having constant movement, having to constantly do something, feeling productive. If I'm not productive, I'm not accomplishing anything, I'm failing. And it becomes very, very self-defeating. This video wasn't designed for anybody to diagnose themselves, but for you to understand the difference between ADHD and ADD. The biggest things I can say is I've trialed and errored it through different medication. Medication is huge when it comes to ADHD and ADD. That's why there's Ritalin. I've been on Ritalin. It dropped me too quick. I'm going to end up doing a video on the Ritalin effects for me. Adderall XR actually lasted too long in my system. Adderall was the perfect. And then it was trial and error to find 10 milligrams in the morning and 10 milligrams in the afternoon. So it's trial and error when it comes to the meds on ADHD, but get with a therapist. Don't self-diagnose this, because it also can be misdiagnosed as bipolar, because there are, especially with ADHD, because there's this always on the go, the fidgeting, and we can hit a sense of mania that is similar to bipolar's, except for the fact that we feel our energy level depleting, where bipolar, they don't feel the energy level depleting. They can go for longer periods of time than us, but even with ADHD mania, we do spend the money, we do go through that really high, and then go through the low, and then through the high, and then through the low. And the meds do help tremendously on that. So definitely get with your doctor on it. If you're new to my channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below. I'd love to know, the challenges that you've ran into being either ADD or ADHD. and what you've experienced, because that's what it's about. The more that we share our experiences and what we've been through, the more that it helps others. That's why I started a nonprofit, Driven Together, to bridge the gap between therapy and a crisis hotline, of that in-between time of what do we do? What coping skills are out there? I need to know that I'm not alone. What are other people's experiences? In the description, I have links to the mental health Discord. If you want to jump into that, of peer-to-peer support, I have links down below to BetterHelp if you want to try online therapy, because it's trial and error to find out what works. If you look below, I have links to different Amazon affiliate links to fidget spinners, fidget cubes, because these are things that I use in my life. And these are all things that I've tried, and some of them work for me. And again, it's trial and error to find out what works for you, because you're the most important person in the world. You're a BAMF. You're a badass motherfucker. You've made it through 100% of your worst days and make it through 2 today. So if you haven't clicked that like and subscribe button, click the like and subscribe button. I'd love to have you along for the journey.